one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
A lot of ways that I be starting the show. A lot of ways I can start the show. But I just heard something that really just threw me off. Threw my equilibrium off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Micah Parsons was by Pro Football Focus, and I already think Pro Football Focus is a joke. I've been saying it all season. I don't understand how Pro Football Focus do some of these ratings and whatnot, because they was giving players ratings, and I was watching games where I was like, "It's no shot that you got him rated that high." Like, it was early in the season. They had what's this motherfucker's name? Patrick Queen had a good Pro Football Focus rating at some point in time on something. But if you looked at Patrick Queen play, it's no shot he should have had a good Pro Football Focus rating, bro. Like, the dude was absolutely the worst linebacker in football for a good stretch in the beginning of the season. So I was like, I'm watching these games, and then it's a quarterback, bro, who had a terrible game and still came out with a pretty good rating. And I'm like, and it didn't happen all season where they would rate players higher than they should have rated them, lower than they should have rated them. And I was just like, yo, how do they rate people over here at Pro Football Focus? That's why I'm just like, man, hey, that's some people's Bible, but I just can't live and breathe Pro Football Focus, because I'm just baffled by some of the ratings they give people. And so they rated Micah Parsons as the 10th best player in the NFL this year. I believe that's what it was. Yeah, they had him rated over Jonathan Taylor, who won the rushing title, Jamar Chase, who won Rookie of the Year, Aaron Rodgers, who won MVP, TJ Watt, who won Defensive Player of the Year, and a lot of other great players. But I'm just focusing on them four specifically. That is absolutely wild. And listen, I get it. It was a stretch when Micah Parsons was going off, and Micah Parsons was great. He deserved that Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was great. I'm not taking nothing away from Micah Parsons. This really ain't even about Micah Parsons as much as it is Pro Football Focus reiterating it. I just don't understand how they rate. How can Micah Parsons be rated higher than Aaron Rodgers, the MVP? That's the first thing. Like, what? Like, for one, Micah Parsons, to me, should not be rated higher than a TJ Watt. TJ Watt just had 20-something sacks. Like, what? And I keep telling people that sacks is not everything. Sacks is not everything. But this motherfucker just had 20-plus sacks. That's got to mean something. And he just won Defensive Player of the Year. So if Micah Parsons is rated higher than him, why don't he just win Defensive Player? Like, I'm not understanding. And I understand Pro Football Focus ain't got shit to do with the NFL. Like, that's not the voting process. And I'm pretty sure the people who vote ain't in Pro Football Focus. But, like, just who the fuck is making this shit up over there at Pro Football Focus? I think it was Baker Mayfield who had a game this year where he was bad and they still gave him a good rating. And I'm like, what? But that, I mean, Pro Football Focus is a joke. I'm just telling you like it is. But anyways, what's good with it? How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? I recorded the episode last night, but I was not satisfied with the episode, so it's not getting uploaded. So, new day. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all Valentine's Day, man. Hope y'all enjoyed that. If you didn't, let it go. The day is past. So, listen, bro. Let's talk real fast. So imagine it's like a burger spot. All right, that done opened up, or it could have been around for a little minute, but you ain't never ate at the spot. But you had a couple homies that done ate at the spot. Your first homie tell you, it's not really that good. Your second homie eat there and he like, I wasn't really feeling it. You got another homie who eat there one day and he was like, it just don't really got, it's not like that. It don't really taste good. It's not really worth it. your moms eat there one day, or your girl, or your huddy, like somebody else you fuck with eat there, right? They like, it's not really that good. So you done been told multiple times by multiple people, multiple sources, it's not really that good. It's not worth it. You eat there one day, and it's disgusting, and you feel like you done wasted money and you're not happy. But you done been told multiple times, like, bro, it's not good. It's like, don't get it. It's not worth it. So in that sense, you knew what you was getting into. Now you still wanted to figure it out yourself, because you was like, man, maybe it might taste good to me, and that's okay. That's cool. However, you knew what you was getting yourself into based off of what everybody else has told you about the place. Now listen, I understand multiple people, people can be unreliable sources, but if multiple sources done told you, multiple sources done came back and told you that the shit was nasty, if 5 people come back with a result and 4 people tell you it's nasty and 1 person tell you that it was straight, then come on. That's how I feel about the James Harden situation. I understand people keep saying that, well, Kyrie wasn't bought in and blah, blah, blah. James Harden knew this shit about Kyrie when he got there. Now, I understand people saying, well, the vaccination thing just happened. Well, Kyrie was what he was before he got there. Kyrie told you that he didn't take basketball like basketball wasn't everything before he got there. Kyrie done talked about things outside of basketball and that things was more important than basketball to him before James Harden got there. Kyrie done, basically how Kyrie done talked, let you know he wasn't 1,000% bought into basketball. He wasn't a slave to the sport. He wasn't 1,000%, 100%, let me say 100%. He wasn't 100% committed to basketball anymore. I mean, the motherfucker just told you a couple of a month ago or something like that this is like a 24/7 job to him, or like a 9-to-5 job to him. Like, the man clearly don't see basketball the way some basketball players see, or the way some athletes see their sport, and that's fine. But James Harden knew that before he went to Brooklyn. Now, I see the statement that he said Brooklyn was, what is it? Philly was his first choice. I don't believe that. I believe his first choice was Brooklyn. You cannot tell me he wanted to get the fucking play with Joel Embiid and play for Daryl Morey more than he wanted to play with Kyrie and KD. It's just when he got there, it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. He realized, oh, damn, this motherfucker not as bought in as I thought. He ain't as committed as I am, or whatever the case may be. Now, I do think the one thing that's weird that I do think Harden said is when he said basically, it's great to play in an organization with dudes who, on the same page or whatever, want to win or some shit like that. My boy, out of you, KD, and Kyrie, you the only one who ain't got a ring. Like, I get this Kyrie situation, I do. Like I said, I'm a little bit, it's in flux for me, because I don't really know how to feel about the Kyrie situation, because to me, you don't even need the vax status to understand what type of, like, Kyrie is an unbelievable player. Brother Kyrie is an unbelievable player, and I love Brother Kyrie. But Kyrie done told me what he is over the last couple years. Like, he is not, for one, the dude said he was like, if you would have me back, I would be back, or whatever it was. And then he left in the offseason and basically was doing that whole thing with the reporters and shit. And then, but listen, to me, Kyrie made a mistake in saying that anyways, because you never give away your leverage. That's for one. It's like Odell saying, he'd take a pay cut to stay in LA. Like, bro, you never sell people you're gonna take a pay cut. I haven't even signed nowhere near a big deal or a big deal for a company or no shit like that. And I know that I would never say, oh yeah, I'd take a pay cut. No, bro, you basically telling them that they can hold you before they even get to the negotiating tables. They know going in, like, oh yeah, we can hold this man. Like, come on, bro, don't tell people you take a pay cut. But excuse me. Anyways, Kyrie basically told us what he was before this vax status, before this vaccination issue. However, like I said before, it's kind of hard for me to. It's hard for me to really get mad at Kyrie for this, man. Like, listen, I understand you got multiple dudes who done got the vaccination, and that's their right. That's their body. They can do what they feel is best for in the best for their body. And then you can use the excuse, oh, they did what's best for the team. Okay, fine. And if you feel like Kyrie is not doing what's best for the team, I even agree with you to a certain extent. Kyrie is not doing what's best for the team. But to me, this type of situation is more. See, I think when you come to athletes, and I say it all the time, how people dehumanize athletes, but I think in a situation like this, for one, I never thought it should have been public knowledge about athletes' vaccination status in the first place. Like, that should have been between them, their doctors, and the organizations. Like, I understand the organization knowing, but the media telling everybody like that the fans did not need to know these dudes' vaccination status and whatnot. And it got to the point where if dudes said that they didn't want to tell their vaccination status, people just immediately was like, oh, well, they not vaccinated. And you immediately labeled them anti-vaxxers. So that was a whole weird situation in my opinion. But bro, it's hard. It's really hard for me to, because, like, yes, I don't think he did what was in the best interest of his team. But this is one of them situations where it would be hard for me to really get mad at him, because this is not really one of those situations where it's like man, everybody need to wear a suit on road games, and Kyrie just refused to wear suits. Or everybody need to catch the plane at this certain time, and Kyrie keep coming late. Like, to me, this ain't really one of them type of situations. This is something that's long term. This is something that's he putting in his body that he feel is good or bad for his body. I can't force a man to put something, or human being, to, you can tell him, you can say what's best for him and all that. But at the end of the day, that's Kyrie's decision to put whatever he chooses to put or not put in his body. So it's hard for me to fucking get mad at him for that. I mean, it truly is. Like, to me, this is not a regular, like, this is not a great example. I smoke weed. It would be easy for me to, like, the Josh Gordon situation. As much as I love smoking weed, bro, if they tell me I can make $1 million if I stop smoking, then you just gonna have to bite that bullet. Josh Gordon would not bite that bullet. He kept smoking weed, costing himself millions of dollars. I don't agree with that. Come on, my boy. You got to put that blunt down or be smarter about it. Because it was multiple NFL players who was like, yo, we smoke all the time, but you got to be smart about it. Like, you know when they test and whatnot. I even remember Larry Fitzgerald coming out saying people, like, we know when they test and whatnot. So, like, Josh Gordon, like, come on, my boy. You didn't even truly have to put the blunt down from what most people were saying. You just had to be smarter about it. And boom, you would have been playing probably still to this day. Because Josh Gordon was a great receiver. But he cost himself millions and cost himself time because of weed. Like, come on, my boy. I don't see this situation as the same thing. This ain't a simple, bruh, stop smoking weed because you can help the team if you stop doing that. To me, this is bruh, yeah, I understand if he get the vaccination, that will help the team. But to me, this is kind of bigger than the team. This is him putting something in his body long term that he don't think is best for his body. I can't fight that man on that. Josh Gordon can think weed is great for his body all he want to. That's a completely different situation to me. That might not make sense to some people, but it makes sense in my head, so I'm rolling with it. So, to me, that is kind of different. It's hard for me to get mad at Kyrie about that. And like I said, I understand people who do get mad at him about that. I do get it. Because technically, yeah, I get the point where, that's why I'm saying I'm on the fence, because I truly do understand people's arguments. Like, I do get it. Not for Harden, though, because Harden knew what he was getting into. Like, this ain't the only thing Kyrie done ever done that proved to you he ain't committed 100%. Like, so, to me, Kyrie is an unbelievable talent. Brother Kyrie is an unbelievable talent. But Brother Kyrie is not a phenomenal team player. He done showed you that multiple times. So the fact that, like, I thought it was crazy that KD wanted to lead the Warriors to go play with Kyrie. Because I'm like, Kyrie just left Boston. Kyrie clearly is not all the way bought in on being a team player if he was willing to leave Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That would have had him formed a great team. Like, Kyrie is interested in Kyrie right now, or being the best version of Kyrie, not the best version of a team player. Like, he want to be the leader and all that type shit. So that was weird to me then. And I'm not diminishing Kyrie's greatness or nothing like that. Like, bro, Kyrie is bigger things in the world to Kyrie than basketball. He just happened to be unbelievable at basketball. And I'm not mad at him for that, because he honest about it. It's like when a wrestler say they in it for the money. I'm not mad at a wrestler saying they in it for the money. If you great enough to make money off of it, go do that shit. I can't be mad at Kyrie for that. So I don't want this to sound like it might sound like I'm taking shots at Kyrie right now. I'm not taking shots at Kyrie, because to me, Kyrie one of the realest dudes in the league. The man telling you right, like straight up, like, this basketball shit ain't everything to me. It's just what's helped me change my life, but it ain't everything to me no more. At one point in time, maybe it was, but I'm older now. I done grew. I done matured. This shit is not everything to me. I respect that. I can't get mad at him for that. Now, based off of what he telling you, though, you can make a decision on if you want a Kyrie on your team or if you want to play with a Kyrie. Durant felt like that wasn't an issue for him. Cool. James Harden knew this shit going before he went there. So this, like, I can't, bro. James Harden ain't getting no fucking pass from me. Plus, I saw Chris Broussard say, like, I don't even know if it was Chris Broussard. No, I think it was Shannon Sharp, actually, who said Kyrie quit on his last two teams too. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't think Kyrie quit on his teams. Kyrie legit just injury prone. Like, the motherfucker just always hurt. But I've never thought Kyrie quit on no team. Maybe I gotta go back and look at it, because when he said that shit, I was like, wait, what? Like, I wasn't even paying no attention. Then I heard him say that shit, and I was like, what? When? Like, that was pretty weird to me. But I don't. So the Harden thing, like the Kyrie thing, like I said, I agree with people and the fans who say, like, oh, this wasn't, Kyrie not 100% bought in, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, Kyrie done told you how he feel about this shit over the last couple years. Not even just the vax, just basketball in general and where he's staying with it. You should have listened to him when he was talking. This probably why Kyrie don't like talking to y'all motherfuckers, because instead of listening and digesting what he said and what he says and whatnot, y'all just run off with some wild shit. Yeah, I just pick and choose the shit he say to run with. Because he told y'all how he feel about basketball, bro. Now, also on top of that, James Harden done quit on multiple players, done threw multiple players under the bus, done quit on two teams now. Like, I'm confused as to how y'all giving this man so many passes right now. Like, and it's not everybody. I will say that. Everybody not giving him a pass. But the people who is, bro, like, for one, let's start off with him against, man, I done already said this, but people talking about him and Ben Simmons both quitting. Like, this was a trade between two dudes who quit on their team. Like, yeah, that is true. Both Ben and Harden just quit on their teams. But Harden done quit on two teams, done played with multiple great players, done quit on them, threw them under the bus and got them traded. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, it's not even close. And if, bro, 76er fans, I'm pretty sure I said this when I first talked about this trade. If you are mad about Ben Simmons locking up Trey Lance, Trey Young, Ice Trey. If you're pissed off about him locking up Ice Trey and not taking that shot, then I'm gonna be honest with you. You about to be real pissed off about Harden not playing no defense most of these playoffs and folding, because that's what Harden done in the playoffs. And I don't want to be disrespectful because, pro players show, but I'm getting real sick and tired of people trying to rewrite Ben Simmons' career to this point, as if this motherfucker is not a perennial all-star, one of the best players in the NBA still, because Ben Simmons is a top 15 player when he was healthy and when he was playing. Like, how many fucking dudes is it in the all-star game? However many dudes it is in the all-star game, those are considered the best players in the league most of the time. Ben Simmons is a top 15 player in the league when he's healthy, bro. I'm pretty sure if I made the list, let me write the list down. Let me make a quick list. You got Curry. You got no. You got Giannis. Giannis, the best player in the league. You got Curry, KD. You got Bron. Actually, you got Giannis. You got Curry. You got Actually, hold up. You got Giannis. Giannis, the best player in the league. You got Bron. You got Curry. You got KD. And this is where it get interesting to me. You got you got Booker. Wait, no. You got Jokic. Yeah, I think Jokic. You have Jokic is a hard one because it's Jokic. You got Luka Doncic. You got Jokic. Matter of fact, I'm finna just start naming the top players, bro. After Giannis, Bron, Curry, KD, the rest of the order don't fucking matter. I'm just putting players that I would take over Ben Simmons right now, basically. Giannis, Bron, Curry, KD, Jokic. I would take Booker, CP3, which is wild considering how old CP3 is. Actually, bro, I would not take Devin Booker over a healthy Ben Simmons, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not taking Devin Booker over a healthy Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons, when he's healthy, is better than Devin Booker. Actually, no, I take that back. I would take Devin Booker because Devin Booker can shoot. Even though he ain't the defensive player that Ben Simmons is. Like, y'all don't realize how much Ben Simmons do great, bro. Like, the only thing Ben Simmons don't do is shoot. But if Ben Simmons was used like Giannis, y'all would think that motherfucker was... I'm trying to tell you, bro. I would take Ben Simmons over Devin Booker. But what's crazy is I would actually take a healthy Ben Simmons over Jokic. No, I wouldn't. I would take a healthy Ben Simmons over CP3 too, so I got to X CP3 off the list. I can't do that, though, because CP3, these dudes are still top players to me. Let me just finish the list. Giannis, Bron, Curry, KD, Jokic, Booker, CP3. Who else? You got Luka. Who else we got? We got Embiid. See, yeah, I think I'd be hating on Embiid, but I know how talented the motherfucker is. You got Harden. You got Kyrie. You got Donovan Mitchell, even though I would take Ben Simmons over him. No, I wouldn't. It's a toss-up. I like both of them, but it's just y'all don't realize. Yeah, because that's scoring, bro. Donovan Mitchell will win it out because of his scoring. But y'all just don't realize. If Ben Simmons was used like Giannis, I think it would be an easy pick because you got to think his size, his facilitating, his defense, his athleticism. If the motherfucker was you, and I wondered this like 2 years ago. I was like, why do they not use him like they use Giannis? When it was that game where him and Giannis was going back and forth at each other. And then I realized, well, it's because these motherfuckers got Joel Embiid, so you can't use him like Giannis because Giannis doesn't have a legitimate center. Like, Giannis' center is like Brook Lopez. That motherfucker don't play in the paint. Brook Lopez understands the spacing. For one, because he shoot. But two, he's smart enough to know that Giannis need to be able to have the paint. Plus, everybody on the team realizes Giannis need to be able to get to the paint. So that's why you put shooters around him and not dudes who can clog the lane so that he can't get into the paint. So technically, I mean, to be honest with you, Philly should have made the trade a long time ago to trade one of these motherfuckers when you realize that both of them is dudes who need to be in the paint and they could not play. Like, even though they could play together, they never. But this is the funny part. They should have just re-signed Jimmy Butler because you was a Kawhi Leonard jump shot away from winning, going to the finals. I don't understand why you don't just keep Jimmy and build off of that. I don't understand why you keep Tobias Harris over it because, like, you've been trying to get rid of Tobias for like 2 years now. And it feel like that's the story of Tobias' career. Every time he signed a contract, the team that signed him try to get rid of him like 2 years after the contract. Like, hey, but you haven't got to a finals, and Jimmy Butler done took the fucking Heat to a finals now. And done helped develop dudes on that team. Like, what's the dude's name? Not Adebayo. I know him. I'm not talking about Bam. the other dude, Tyler Hero, I think that's his name. Goran Dragic got released. I wonder where he gonna end up signing with. I want him to go sign with the Warriors, but I think he gonna end up signing with the Lakers. But I don't really know how that's gonna work because, like, I do know how it would work because he should go to the Lakers and immediately become their starting point guard. Because Russell Westbrook should be coming off the bench. I done thought that since Russ got there. Well, I really didn't think they should have traded for Russ. Like, that was just bad management in the offseason. But I mean, I guess they say LeBron the one who wanted him, so that was just bad decision making by LeBron or realizing the situation by LeBron. I just think that was stupid. But now that you got him, I mean, it don't help that you don't know how to utilize them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get past the fact that you should have never got him because now you got him. And so I think the Lakers making excuses and people doing that type of shit where they want to blame Russ for everything, bro, that's neither here nor there. Who gives a fuck whose fault it is? You just got to figure out how to get the shit fixed. Like this blame game shit that the Lakers doing, trying to find reasons why shit ain't going right. Yeah, keep playing the season like that and shit gonna keep going south. So, for one, Russ should be coming off the bench. But that's neither here nor... Bro, let me finish this list. You got Luka, Mitchell, Embiid, Harden, Kyrie. How many players is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 12 players right there. Ben Simmons is on this list, though, because Ben Simmons is the next person I'm putting on the list, even though I would have been put him on the list. Oh, you got Lillard. Clay when he healthy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's 15 players right there. And I don't think I'm leaving nobody like obvious off unless I am. Let me think. I mean, I want to put Brandon Ingram on here, but I can't be ignorant even though that's my guy. I mean, DeMar DeRozan would make the list this year. He wouldn't have made it last year with the Spurs. But clearly the Spurs was holding him back. But DeRozan would be on the list. But I mean, he in the same boat. That's the thing. DeMar DeRozan know his game. He not no 3-point shooter, but he know his game. So he a mid-range dude. He finish inside. He not a defender like Ben Simmons. Y'all really disrespect. Like I feel like I got to keep defending Ben Simmons, yo. Now what's crazy about this list is I think the only two centers. Now I know some people thinking to themselves, well, you ain't got AD on the list. Yeah, and I'm not gonna put AD on the list either. Now, if it's people who don't think Lillard should be on the list, then I just think you drunk. Because that motherfucker done keep taking Portland to the playoffs. Even if you think that he don't do shit when they get to the playoffs, you got to understand. The West was usually a great conference. They might be better in the East now. Even though I really got to look at that to make sure that before I co-sign that. I just heard somebody say that shit on TV the other day. But fucking, come on, bro. Portland was not... You didn't think of Portland as a great team before Lillard got there and was constantly... Well, yeah, you didn't. Bro, Lillard should be on this list, bro. Fuck you. I'm trying to think if I'm leaving somebody blatantly off, like that's blatantly obvious, but I got Giannis and KD and Harden and oh, I am leaving two dudes blatantly off. Kawhi. How did that motherfucker do that loud? Okay, Kawhi is on the list. And PG. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 17 dudes. Ben Simmons a top 20 player, period. But listen, it is a couple dudes on this list who I really do want to take off. The first one being, and this gonna sound crazy, yo. This really gonna sound crazy. I want to take Devin Booker off of this list more than I want to take anybody else off of this list. Dead ass. I want to take Devin Booker off of this list more than I want to take Donovan Mitchell off of this list. More than I want to take Kyrie off of this list. More than I want to take... I want to take Devin Booker off of this list more than I want to take anybody off of this list. And then the next person I'd take off of the list would probably be Clay. No, it wouldn't. The next player I'd probably take off of the list. Who the fuck would I take? Nobody else deserved to be taken off the list. But to me, Devin Booker don't belong on this list. And I know this sounds crazy, and I'm not trying to hate on Devin Booker or diminish Devin Booker's greatness. But Devin Booker could not get the Suns to the fucking playoffs before CP3 got there. CP3 took the Thunder to the playoffs and got the fucking Phoenix Suns as a perennial. Like we look at the Suns as a finals team now because of CP3. We didn't look at it like that before he got there. So it's kind of hard for me to put Devin Booker on this list because I think if CP3 leave, then Devin Booker and them boys will struggle again. Like, it won't be as crisp and clean as it is now. With all the knowledge and all the growth these players have, I just think CP3 is so integral and so important in this team. Because, in matter of fact, if CP3 leave, I don't even think I think DeAndre Ayton's effectiveness go down as soon as CP3 leave. So it's really hard for me to put Devin Booker on this list. I'm not gonna lie, and I think Devin Booker is a talented player. It's just these other dudes done shown me that they can do it by themselves, or they show me that, like Kyrie, I know people are like, well, how you got Kyrie on the list? Well, Kyrie done played big in big games, and he one of the biggest reasons LeBron got one of them rings. So don't question brother Kyrie. Harden deserved to be on the list. Embiid deserved to be on the list. Ben Simmons should be on the list. Kawhi should be on the list. For people who don't think PG should be on the list, you're just drunk. And I understand the PG hate and whatnot, but PG should definitely be on the list. Clay should be on the list when he's healthy because he's a top defender and a top scorer. Giannis, Bron, Curry, KD don't even need to be discussed. They obviously should be on the list. That motherfucker Giannis is amazing, bro. That motherfucker Giannis dead ass amazing, bro. I think when Curry retire, my next favorite player will probably be Giannis. I'm not going to be no Bucks fan, but I'll probably root for Giannis heavy if KD ain't in the league still. Because it'll immediately go to KD if Curry retire anytime. But I imagine around the time Curry retires when KD will probably be retiring. So Giannis will probably be fully effectively like my guy by that point in time. Giannis just a good dude, man. Just a good dude. Plus, this motherfucker really is dominant, bro. Like, Giannis kind of remind me. Like, I'm not trying to compare him to Aaron Donald because Aaron Donald is a one of one. But, like, Giannis kind of, like, the way he dominate games is insane. Like, okay, he kind of remind me of Shaq. Like, you know how Shaq just was so physically dominant? That's Giannis. Not to mention, Giannis clearly got a great work ethic. It's like I say about Lamar all the time. You see how Lamar can constantly improve on shit every year? It looked like you can look at him and see that he gotten better at different things. To me, that's Giannis. Like, Giannis, is he the greatest shooter in the world? No. But the motherfucker could not shoot a lick a couple years ago. And he confidently take jump shots and shit like that now. See, that's why I understand some people who get mad about Ben Simmons. They like, oh, well, Ben Simmons don't got a jump shot. He don't work on his jump shot, so he ain't working. For one, I don't understand if you saying he not working just because you think he ain't got a jump shot yet. Just because he don't got a jump shot don't mean he ain't in the gym working. Two, you got to understand the situation. Giannis is being asked to be the best player on that team, to be the leader of that team. It's a different type of set of responsibilities that come when you got that type of responsibility. When you the leader of the team and you committed to being the leader of the team, you come in and you put in that extra work. You work harder because you the dudes look up to. So Giannis know that if I'm the leader of this team and I'm not developing a jump shot, dude's going to be looking at me like, well, Giannis don't develop his jump shot and he the leader of the team. So he made a conscious effort to continue every year to develop a jump shot. Is it going to be on the level of a Steph Curry, KD? No. But KD and Curry don't do what Giannis can do inside. Can Curry and KD finish inside? Yeah. Can they do what Giannis do inside? No. Just like he don't do what they do shooting outside. But those are three great players who have well-rounded games because of their work in the gym. Curry not the biggest dude, but he can still finish at the rim, much like Kyrie. And KD ain't the biggest dude, but he can still finish at the rim. to complement they shooting, so that you can't never guard them too close because they can get by you and go to the fact that KD can dribble the way he can dribble is insane. Like Giannis can dribble a bit too, but nowhere near what KD doing. Obviously they ain't on the level of Steph Curry, but KD can dribble pretty good to be that big. And I always knew KD could dribble when he was in OKC, but when he got to Golden State and they started letting him dribble sometimes, I was like, yo, KD really good at getting in his spots and whatnot. Like, I always recognized that about KD, but it was really like, because OKC ain't on my TV screen all the time, you know what I'm saying? But when he got to Golden State and they put him in a system, because I really didn't like the way they played in OKC, where it was just your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Like, they was never gonna win like that. That's why I was like, Scott Brooks should have been fired anyways, because this not a head coach. He letting these motherfuckers play your turn, my turn. Like, what is this? And then they trading away dudes, and when they have bad seasons and shit, like they getting rid of dudes. I never understood why Cephalosha was starting over James Harden. I never understood that. Never understood that. Like, James Harden coming off as a sixth man to me never made sense. Why do you not want all three of these dudes on the court at the same time? Why does he need to come off of the bench? Like, I never understood that to this day. So I done heard somebody say this week, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Rick Bucher. I heard somebody say that Harden basically quit on OKC too. Nah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. OKC to me is a just ridiculous organization. And it might not look like that on the front, but when you realize how many great players don't walk through that organization and realize these motherfuckers only had one finals appearance with those dudes and then just kept failing in the playoffs, like, I'm not really big on OKC. And then stacking all them fucking draft picks and shit, like, But anyways, back to the heart. But we done got so fucking far away from what I was talking about, Harden and Ben Simmons, because we was talking about I was ranking all. Bro, at the end of the day, Ben Simmons is a fucking top 15, top 20 player in the NBA when he is healthy and going. And he could possibly go up because he young. You got to think, dudes on this list is kind of old. Bron, Curry, KD, those older dudes. Kyrie, Harden, them old Kawhi, PG, Clay, these older dudes. I think even Lillard about to hit 30 soon. Dudes on this list is young as Ben, Luka, Mitchell, Giannis. Bro, Giannis is so incredible, bro. Just think about that. Giannis is young and he the best player in the league, right? In my opinion, I think Giannis is the best player in the league. Like, if you think it's Bron, I ain't gonna argue with you. If you think it's KD, I won't argue with you. If you think it's Curry, you know I'm not gonna argue with you. I'll probably even say, yep, you right. But I think it's Giannis right now. I saw he had like a 50 piece the other night. Like, I didn't watch the game, but it just came through on my mentions. Like, I think it said Giannis drops 50. I'm like, yeah. And then he had a game where he barely missed. Like, bro, Giannis is fucking insane. Like, Giannis is fucking insane. There's no two ways around it. But yo, I want to talk about the Super Bowl because I'm not happy about something, man. And I want to preference this by saying I am not mad at Cooper Kupp at all. And I'm not throwing shade at Cooper Kupp. I'm not talking shit about Cooper Kupp. I'm not criticizing Cooper Kupp. I'm not going at Cooper Kupp. I ain't doing none of that. I love Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp ain't have nothing to do with that MVP voting for the Super Bowl and how it was handed out, who it was given to. All he did was go out there, do his job, and they rewarded him for it at the end of the day. He ain't had shit to do with that. He didn't vote for himself. He had no say-so in the vote, nothing like that. So this is not a Cooper Kupp rant. This is not a Cooper Kupp slandering fest. This ain't none of that. Cooper Kupp deserved the award because that's who they gave it to, even though let me not say he deserved the award, but you deserve what they give you at the end of the day. So, well, no, I don't even want to say that either. He ended up taking home an award. Even though I don't think he should have won the award, I'm not going at Cooper Kupp. This ain't got shit to do with Cooper Kupp. That's just the person they gave it to, so that's who I'm going to be saying. So, this MVP process. So, I've been listening to people talk about it, specifically Mike Florio and Chris Sims, how they talk about it, 16 voters. You don't even know the people who vote. Like, they not transparent on who the people who vote for the award is. They won't tell you who the people who vote for it is and who vote for who. And they vote at the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter. So they don't even wait till the game is over to vote. and Chris Sims was making jokes like, y'all can't count up 16 votes. And he was being funny, but I'm being dead ass serious right now. Like, yo, what the fuck? What? For one, the fact that the votes go in at the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter is absolutely mind-blowing. That is mind-blowing. Like, what? So you don't even let the game end. With all the games we done seen in NFL history, swing and do all the crazy. We just saw that Chiefs-Bills game a couple weeks ago and how that shit ended with the last 2 minutes. And we voting before at the 2-minute mark? Like, what? What? Like, bro, that really do sound like some baseball type shit. Like, baseball do shit like that. Why would that be something that is like? Because the more and more I was thinking about it, because I done watched the Super Bowl back like 2 times. The more, specifically the fourth quarter, I done watched specifically the second half. I done watched the whole game over twice, but I didn't like watch the second half over multiple times. I just do not see how you give, even with the 2-minute mark, I just don't see how you give Super Bowl MVP to Cooper Kupp. And like I said, this is no shade at Coop. This is not me hating on Coop. But I just don't see how you get it. For one, Coop might have not even been the best receiver in the game if OBJ don't get healthy. If he don't get hurt, my bad. 2, but that's just a hearsay. You know, that's not even that's just a speculation type of statement. A factual statement is, it's 3 dudes that I can name that should have won that award over Cooper Kupp. Obviously, Aaron Donald should have won the award. Now, I understand people going to be like, oh, man, you biased. Yeah, you could say that, but not in this situation. This is not even a, he biased type of situation. You just go look at the game, and it's very clear that the dude who stood out, the dude that you wanted to talk about after the game, was Aaron fucking Donald. The second half, now, the second half, I'm not, because I was finna say if the first half went like this, I'm not doing the ifs right now. I'm just doing based off of what happened. The offense for the Rams in the second half had 1 scoring drive. I believe it was 1 scoring drive. And that was the long 15, 16 play drive where Cooper Kupp, he had multiple good catches on that drive. He had multiple catches on that drive. The most impressive one being his first touchdown on that drive where he got drilled, but it didn't count. To me, okay, so let me put it like this, because I don't want to shit on Cooper Kupp. I don't want to make it sound like I'm shitting on Cooper Kupp. The second half of that game, Aaron Donald absolutely took over. Like, he absolutely took over. Matt Stafford's interception to Skronik, which was on Skronik, not on Stafford, when that happened, the game could have completely flipped because the Bengals had just scored to take the lead. Now they get the interception to short field. They could go up 2 scores right now. And Aaron Donald just said, no, that's not going to happen. And ended that drive and forced them to kick a field goal. From that point on, the Bengals did not score another point, and they only had, 50 yards of offense or some shit like that. Not to mention, I said it after the Super Bowl, the biggest plays in this game, because for the most part, the Rams dominated this game defensively, because the biggest plays in this game was the 46-yarder to Jamar Chase in the beginning of the game, the touchdown to T. Higgins that should not have counted because should have been called a pass interference on the receiver. Those was the biggest plays. And the only thing that was working for them was the running game when they decided to run, but they chose not to do that. And the slants that they kept throwing. The little quick slants that they threw, which that's like a staple of this offense, I'm starting to realize. Like, they did that a lot throughout the playoffs. And I guess it's because of how atrocious the offensive line is. But Aaron Donald dictated this game in the second half. And because of Aaron Donald, so many other guys got loose. Now, this is what's confusing to me. Stafford, to me, should have been won MVP over. To me, he was more worthy of MVP, Super Bowl MVP over Kupp. Because, to me, the way I look at it is, you give Kupp MVP, right? But he was a product of Stafford's great throws. Because I don't think Coop made and like I said, I'm not shitting on Coop, but I don't think he made some amazing catch like a Julian Edelman did in that Super Bowl against the Falcons, I think it was. Or against the Seahawks. I can't remember what Super Bowl it was where he made that crazy catch. But I don't think that he made no, unbelievable spec. Like I said, the best one he made didn't even count. But to me, the throws was more impressive than the actual catches. Like Matthew Stafford having to hang in the pocket, having to create space in the pocket, having to get out of the pocket to make some of these throws. To me, that was more impressive than and Matthew Stafford had dudes in his face in the second half. He was getting pressured in the second half. To me, that was more impressive to me to an extent than Coop. And Coop to me was just a product of, everybody. I mean, Stafford's great play in my opinion. Now, it is situation. Now, I'm not trying to say that a receiver can only look great because of the quarter. I'm not saying that, even though I understand that's who's throwing them the ball. It can be games where, like, I've seen Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins outshine a quarterback and just absolutely go off. But this wasn't one of them situations where Coop just going up over double teams and yanking it down and shit like that. This wasn't no Julio domination in the Super Bowl like what Julio did. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Falcons won that Super Bowl, Julio winning MVP of that game. No, that's why I really be fucking talking shit about Matt Ryan probably. Because at the end of the day, I do like Matt Ryan. But I just can't forget a motherfucker for losing that Super Bowl, and now my boy Julio probably won't get a ring. But I don't think Coop was more deserving of that award than, Stafford. Because the way I see it is, Aaron Donald, you look at all the dudes who got loose for Aaron Donald, they were great. Like Von Miller, 2 sacks was an extension because of what Aaron Donald was doing. You're not going to give Von Miller the sack in that game. I mean, the MVP in that game because of what Aaron Donald caused and whatnot. But you gave it to Coop based off of what Stafford was able to do, if that makes sense to you. So, to me, for one, Aaron Donald should have won the MVP by a landslide. It wasn't even close to me. That second half, it was just unbelievable. That proved he was the best player in football. But after Aaron Donald, I would have gave it to Matthew Stafford. Now, I know some people say, oh, man, he threw 2 interceptions. Yeah, but the first one really didn't even fucking matter. Should he have thrown that interception? No. But this is my problem with that first interception. And this is why OBJ is so vital. Van Jefferson didn't even fucking jump to knock the pick out of the dude's hand, or at least try. I understand Stafford underthrew the ball, but that was like close to the end of the quarter. He was just trying to make a play because nobody was open. OBJ had got hurt at that point in time. Van Jefferson, most players, when you see quarterbacks launch these balls like this, you see the receiver go up and try to knock it down when it's about to be a pick. Van Jefferson just stood there and became a fucking fan and watched it happen, bro. Like, I'm like, no. Now, maybe it was a momentum thing or something like that, but he just fucking looked at it happen. He didn't even try to knock it out of Jesse Bates' hand. He let Jesse Bates go right up and take that bitch and land. Like, I'm like, what are you doing right now? So I'm really not that mad about that pick, to be honest with you. Plus, it didn't result in shit. The interception, I'm also not mad about the second one because that wasn't his fault. That was Skronik's fault. So, and you know how I feel about, the quarterbacks and the tip passing and shit. I done talked about that all season. This ain't one of them situations. Skronik should have caught that pass. I don't understand what the fuck Skronik was doing. So, I don't really care about those 2 interceptions. To me, the reason I don't give it to Matt Stafford over Aaron Donald is because of how bad the offense was in the second half. But at the end of the day, he did still have to Aaron Donald and them boys kept them in the game for that long. You got to understand how good an offense Joe Burrow and that team is. This Rams offense basically shut this team down in the second half of this game after that nonsense in the beginning of the quarter. They basically just shut them down after that and allowed Matthew Stafford and them boys to keep going 3 and out, or ending the drives till they got a drive going with the 15-16 play drive. So to me, Aaron Donald should have won the MVP anyways. But if I had to give it to somebody other than Aaron Donald, it would have been Stafford, because Stafford still had to make those throws on that drive. Like, I understand people saying, and another thing that's crazy to me is people saying, well, Cooper Kupp should have won MVP because people knew that that's who the ball was going to. That's true. People did know who the ball was going to. People also was double and triple teaming Aaron Donald all game because they knew that that's who they couldn't let get loose, and he still fucked up the game for him. So that to me, because a lot of people acting like MVP don't matter in the Super Bowl, which is absolutely crazy. That is actually people think like that, like, because that is a valuable award. Like, that is a great award to have on your record. And listen, Coop done had an amazing year, the Triple Crown with a MVP of the Super Bowl at the end. But I just can't get over the fact that Coop said at the end of the game, like, I feel like I'm holding this award that I did not deserve or did not earn. And that's because the man stood on the sideline and watched what I watched from the crib. Aaron Donald absolutely massacred the second half of this fucking game and start bringing the homies along with him. They just could not they just had no answer for him. They had no answer. And because they had no answer for him, everybody else started to eat too. That's the effect of an Aaron Donald on full display in the Super Bowl when it mattered most, and not to mention he ended the game with the last 2 plays. Which is why it's just absolutely fucking buffoonish that they voting for MVP of the Super Bowl at the 2-minute mark. Not to mention, I saw Mike Florio say something that I actually agree with. Who the fuck cares if you waited till the next day to mention, like, screw the fact that, like, my boy Chris Simmons said, like, it's just buffoonish that you goofballs can't count to 16 after the fucking game is over and tally up 16 votes after the game. Like, that's crazy. Like, they act like it's 150 fucking voters or something, like it's some crazy number that'll take time. It's 16 voters. But just forget that for a second. I wouldn't even care if you waited till the next fucking day to tell us who was a Super Bowl MVP so that you could get it right. And that's not my idea. Like I said, Mike Florio said that, but I agree with that. Like, I will be happy waiting the next day. You acting like the excitement gonna die down. Like, you can wait till the next day so we can get it right. So you can get it right. So you can look through the entirety of the game and get it right on who should really win that award. Because to me, to give that award to the wrong person is just buffoonish. Like, I really believe that Malcolm Butler should have won MVP of the Super Bowl they was in. Because the most important player in that game was Malcolm Butler. Without Malcolm Butler, they lost that game. So, to me, Aaron Donald, like, and I like what what Florio said. It's basically, what player, if you took out of this game, this entirety of the game, change? Aaron Donald. If you take Aaron Donald out of this game, I guarantee you the Bengals score more in that second half. So, to me, it's just absolutely laughable to me that Aaron Donald didn't win MVP of the Super Bowl. And that's no shot at Cooper Kupp. Like I said, Cooper Kupp is an amazing player. Like, I had said all year that I didn't think Cooper Kupp was the best receiver in the league. And just, like, talent-wise, I don't think Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the league. But production-wise, I do think Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the league because it's about production. You can be as talented as you want to. The fact of the matter is, who produced for me the most when they on the field? That's Cooper Kupp. And off of that, yeah, he is the best receiver in the league by that. If I had to rank receivers off of just production alone, he would finish number 1 for me. It is what it is. So I'm not hating on Coop. I just think it was 3 dudes more deserving of MVP than Cooper Kupp. The first 2 being clearly Aaron Donald, then Matthew Stafford. And I don't understand why people disrespecting Matthew Stafford after this game. Like, because one of the things is, first off, the other dude that I thought should have finished above him in MVP was Von Miller. But that's the one that you can make an argument because his great game was an extension of Aaron Donald. But Coop's game was an extension of Stafford. And he didn't even pop 100 yards in the game. But that's neither here nor there. But listen, when it comes to Stafford, I don't understand why people want to be so quick to dismiss Stafford. And I get it. Listen, I told you what I was going to be like for Stafford after he won that Super Bowl if he could get my boy Aaron Donald a ring. But listen, Richard Sherman came out and basically said that they done lowered the bar for the Hall of Fame, that Stafford not a Hall of Fame. He don't even have All-Pro. He not a first-team All-Pro. Pro Bowler once. Never been the best in the league. Never was leading the league. And listen, I agree with everything Richard Sherman said. I really do. And Richard Sherman is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. Well, he should be in everybody's opinion. Like, Richard Sherman has been regarded as the best cornerback in the league for multiple years in his prime. Even when he was no longer in his prime, he was still considered one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Richard Sherman got the stats, he got the numbers, he got a ring. He should have had 2. Like, you're not going to disrespect Richard Sherman. Like, as much as you love Stafford, as much as you might love Stafford or whatever, you're not going to disrespect Richard Sherman. That's what's not going to happen on this channel because Richard Sherman is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Richard Sherman kind of right. Well, not kind of. Richard Sherman right. So let me just be very blunt for a second. I don't want to disrespect Stafford because I told you how I'm going to treat Stafford now that he won the Super Bowl. But the reality for Richard Sherman is the bar for the Hall of Fame has been lowered. He right. Just look at the classes going in this year. No disrespect. Pro player show. But Matthew Stafford, the longer he plays for the Rams, the more he can win with the Rams. He'll get further removed from Detroit. Now, I don't like that people don't blame him for absolutely some shit happened right there, so that might sound like a skip or something. But anyways, I don't like when people act like Stafford can't, like he has no blame for anything that happened in Detroit, like everything that happened in Detroit was on everybody but Stafford, because I don't agree with that. Like I said, I wasn't going to bring up his Detroit shit no more after he won that Super Bowl, but just real quick, because, you know, Richard Sherman got a point in my opinion, because to me right now as it stands, even after the Super Bowl, I don't think Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Fame quarterback. But my standards for the Hall of Fame are very high. To me, if you got to think about it, you're not really a Hall of Famer. Now, this is an exclusive. Here's the exception. Sometimes you actually do have to think about it, because some dudes don't get the national recognition and shit sometimes, but put up absolutely insane numbers on a regular basis. They contribute to their team's success. Or they might be a dude that's stuck on a bad team, but is absolutely the exception on that bad team. And if you put him on a good team, he could be great. So I get those type of players. And I see some people would be like, oh, well, those not Hall of Fame. But no, I don't agree with that, because some dudes really do play in absolutely terrible situations. And it's hard to overcome certain situations, and you can still be a Hall of Fame player in a terrible situation. So I do not agree with that. Because, for one, Alex Mack was a Hall of Fame center in Cleveland all those years. Joe Thomas was a Hall of Fame guard in Cleveland all those years. And that was a terrible environment. So I don't agree with that. But Matthew Stafford, to me, is not a Hall of Famer yet. Within the next 2 to 3 years, Matthew Stafford could very well put himself in the Hall of Fame to me. Now, first ballot, probably not. But, and the reason I say not first ballot, like I wouldn't put Matt Stafford in the first ballot, no way, no how. For the simple reason, I agree with the points that Richard Sherman made. He has never been an All-Pro. He has never been a Pro Bowler but once, even though the Pro Bowler now is starting to be diminished a little bit with so many backups making the and alternates making the Pro Bowl. He's never been the best in the league, and he was a first pick in the draft, and y'all don't give him. Yeah, it's like y'all don't give him the expectation when you the first pick in the draft as a quarterback is that you're gonna come in and change a franchise's life. And I understand people making all these excuses saying, "Oh, with the organization." Well, you thought Cleveland was you thought Cincinnati was an absolutely atrocious situation. Joe Burrow come in. Now Zach Taylor just signed an extension. And I think Zach Taylor is still the worst head coach in this division. And I really don't think it's close. He just happened to luck up and get one of the best quarterbacks in the division. Or in the league, really. Like, so, and people, I saw somebody even say that the development, like he helped develop Joe Burrow. In a year? Nah, buddy. No. His offenses was limiting Joe Burrow to an extent. Y'all keep blaming offensive line. His counter to the offensive line being bad is just to throw short, quick passes. Like, bro, whatever. But congratulations to Zach Taylor on a contract extension that I don't think he deserved. But when you're allowed to fail forward and fail upwards, this is the type of shit that happen. This is what Brian Flores is talking about. So, hey. This man got to fail until he got into a situation where now you think he a good head coach. So I'm not shocked. But shit almost made me forget where I was at. But for all those reasons, Richard Sherman was saying he don't think Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer. I kind of agreed that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like I never one time thought Matthew Stafford was the best quarterback in the NFL. I never subscribed to all the excuses people gave him because he had receivers. The motherfucker had Calvin Johnson. He had dudes on defense. He had a head coach. Now, the organization did make some stupid decisions and whatnot, but you see great quarterbacks be able to overcome a lot of that shit a lot of different times. Tom Brady went right into Tampa Bay and took him to a Super Bowl and won it. So, to me, some of the excuses that people give Stafford, they would never give some of these other quarterbacks, and they contradict the excuses they give Stafford by the credit that they give other quarterbacks for what they do to turn around teams. So, to me, you can't absolve Stafford of all that. That's why, to me, before he got to L.A., he wasn't a Hall of Famer. After the Super Bowl, he's still not a Hall of Famer. But like I said before, winning the Super Bowl will reroute his career. It will reroute and start to rewrite his career, because if he already got this Super Bowl, right? Now let's say he stay with the Rams for about 5 more years, and all of them is winning seasons. And let's say he get to another Super Bowl. Let's say he win that Super Bowl. Well, now it's gonna be hard not to keep him, put him in the Hall of Fame, because he done been to 2 Super Bowls with the Rams. Now let's say he don't get to another Super Bowl, but he continue to get to the playoffs every year. He'd go far in the playoffs. It's hard for me to believe that if the Rams got the players they got now, or continue to do what they've been doing the past couple years, basically going for it all, and if they keep Aaron Donald, it's really hard for me not to see Sean McVay get into another. And if they keep Sean McVay, it's really hard for me not to see them get into another Super Bowl. So I truly believe by the end of this next 5 years, if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy and stay with the the Rams, he probably will end up becoming a Hall of Famer. Like, he will, work himself into the Hall of Fame, which is respect. Because, listen, I understand Richard Sherman probably was listening to a lot of the people out there who immediately, when Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl, just went nuts, like Dan Orlovsky, trying to say, oh, he a Hall of Famer. He always been this great. He always been one of the greatest players, like giving him absolutely no credit for the shit that happened in Detroit and blaming everybody else. I get that. And I understand why that would piss somebody like Richard Sherman off, who is one of the greats. And I understand how that would piss other people off when you don't give these white quarterbacks no blame for shit that goes south. Like, I'm still looking at people give Baker Mayfield excuse after excuse, bro. Odell left the motherfucker and won a Super Bowl in the same season and was going off in the Super Bowl until he tore his ACL, which is what I'm hearing the injury is. And you still got people coming to the defense of Baker Mayfield. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird world out there, buddy. Buckle up. But I'm confused by that. But, I didn't want to go at Matt Stafford, right after he won a Super Bowl. I was thinking to myself, like, man, I'll wait to talk about this. But nah, fuck it. I just went ahead and talked about it right now. But I agree with Richard Sherman. I don't think Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer yet. But I do believe that Matthew Stafford can now put himself, he can work himself into a Hall of Fame career with these last couple years, his back end of his career with the Rams. I'm telling you, if he get 5 more great years with the Rams, get to a Super Bowl, because I really truly believe that they can get to another 2 Super Bowls. If they keep this same team, they can get back to the Super Bowl next year, in my opinion. They'll be healthy. Robert Woods might be back. Odell probably won't be back till January or December. But they probably could sign somebody out. Like, I truly think the Rams could get back to a Super Bowl within the next 2-3 years. Like, I think they can get back next year. So Matthew Stafford could really easily put himself in the now, I don't think first ballot is an option. I truly do not believe he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I do believe he could work himself in the Hall of Fame. Because, listen, if it was up to me, most dudes, if you're not first ballot, you wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Because to me, after first ballot, you just, giving people chance after chance after chance, and you coming up with reasons why they should be Hall of Famers. Like, even to an extent, I could say if you're not a first ballot or a second ballot, then it would be hard for me to put you in. But, like, it's kind of weird because T.O. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and they made him wait, right? And it bothers me, like, if Phillip Rivers go in on his first try. Because I don't think Phillip Rivers is a first ballot Hall of Famer with all the yards and shit that he accumulated. I don't think he a first ballot Hall of Famer. But there's people out there who do. I don't. I think Big Ben is a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's people out there who don't think he is. I think he is, because I think he did more to contribute to winning than Phillip Rivers did for the Chargers to contribute winning in big games and big moments. Now, I know people going to say, well, Big Ben and them boys couldn't beat the Patriots. And in the back end of his career, he missed the playoffs a couple times and really wasn't that good. I get that, but motherfuckers get old, people age. Drew Brees didn't look great in his last 2 years, and you ain't going to tell me he ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, I don't look at Phillip Rivers the same way I look at Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I don't look at nobody the way I look at Tom Brady, but I don't look at him the same way, and technically I don't look at none of these dudes the way I look at Peyton and Tom. To me, Peyton and Tom is in the category of them. But what I'm basically saying is, when Tom, Peyton, and Drew was in their height, like the heights of their careers, Big Ben still got to a Super Bowl. Drew Brees got to a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers got to a Super Bowl. Phillip Rivers ain't never got. Fuck, Eli got to a Super Bowl. 2 of them. So to me, Phillip Rivers is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I would put Phillip Rivers in on his second try. So Phillip Rivers would make the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But he would be a second ballot Hall of Famer. Not a first ballot Hall of Famer. See, to me, a first ballot Hall of Famer is Aaron Donald, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I don't even have to think about it. You see what I'm saying? Like, those is Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. You don't even have to think about it. You know. As soon as you say that name, oh yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. That Tony Gonzalez, that's a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. You see what I'm saying? Like, players like that, to me, is Hall of Famers. Like, when you don't even have to think about it, you know, as soon as they get the chance to retire. That's how. Like, when Marshall Yonder retired, Hall of Famer. I knew instantly Marshall Yonder was going to be a first ballot Hall. So I get people like Skip. I hear Skip say all the time, like, he got a really hard judging scale when it comes to Hall of Fame. Trust me, my boy. Yours is not more strict than mine, because I'm just being lenient at the like I saw Colin say that he hard at grading people because he don't want to fail people. I'm the same way. That's why I can never be a teacher, because I would struggle to fail somebody. Like, it would be very hard for me to fail a kid, even though I know if I don't fail them and they really struggling, I'm setting them up for more failure down the line. And that's how the school system is anyways, because they don't give a fuck. They just want to get you out their classroom and on to the next system. But I know that if I don't fail them, that I could set them up for failure down the line. If I got a kid in my class who can't fucking read, and I don't want to fail him, and I just pass him to the next grade, and he can't read in the next grade, and the next teacher do the next thing, do the same thing, and then he get to the next grade and still can't read, then technically I'm doing more harm than I am good by just, by not failing him. I should have just failed him so he could have learned how to read. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I get that. But it's hard for me to judge, to say, oh, he's, so that's why I have a second ballot Hall of Fame. Because some of these players really was worthy of being a Hall of Famer. Maybe not first ballot, but I'm kind of like, bro, it's so hard to be as great as some of these first ballot Hall of Famers was that I kind of understand the second ballots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Phillip Rivers is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I understand how hard it was to try to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when you playing against a Tom Brady and a fucking Peyton Manning on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to do. So you have to win a championship while those two motherfuckers is playing. So I get it. It's very hard to do. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you too. If we have to talk about off the field shit, Big Ben wouldn't even be in my wouldn't even be a Hall of Famer for me, since they like to do that to other players. Like, if I'm going based off of the way they do the Hall of Fame right now, Big Ben wouldn't even make it into me till like his third or fourth try, because of his off the field shit, since they like the whole T.O. and all these other black athletes. But just off of production on the field, Big Ben would probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer to me. It really is kind of hard for me to say that with a straight face, because I want to so hard discredit Big Ben, but it's really hard to, because that motherfucker used to light the Ravens up, bro. Like, he used to light our asses up, bro. So it's kind of hard for me not to give Big Ben Big Rape. It's hard for me not to give him his credit. It's going to be a rough week this week, man, because Pat McAfee show not on, so I really don't have no go-to show to watch this week. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another fucking episode of Kickin' with Saying. I hope y'all have a dope day, man. I'm recording this one during the day. Hope y'all have a dope day. Hope y'all enjoyed your Valentine's Day. If you didn't, well, fuck it. It's over. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. We growing. We gonna keep growing. All season gonna be great. You see, we already done started talking about basketball. I didn't even plan on talking about basketball when I started the video. But, yo, the next episode, we gonna talk about the players. Look at that. I'm giving a teaser for the next episode. Look at me. Look at me setting you up for the next episode. The next episode, I'm either doing my top 5 or top 10 players with something to prove next year. I don't know how I'm gonna title that yet. If it's with something to prove, the top 10 or 5 players that's with they something on the line. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna title it yet, but that's what we getting into next week. And you already know Baker Mayfield on the list. So, with that, I appreciate you for joining me. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody have a dope fucking day. And you have a dope fucking day. Saint out.
I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.